Well, happy Tuesday, everybody, here in my For the Love of Dragons family. Araya Anra here, coming to you live again every Tuesday. We do this, isn't it? On your calendar by now? Aren't you watching for it? I know it's on mine, and sometimes I come on a little bit late like this, so I apologize if you were expecting me at 11, but as I mentioned in the postings, you can't pin the dragons down. I am a dragon, and I try my best, but honestly, we are stepping outside the flow of time, and so allowing yourself to be in that flow, to be in the inner guided, energetic of where you need to be in every moment, what you need to be doing every moment. And so here we are, we're coming together, and I want to start sharing the energy that we're in right now because there's powerful stuff happening since about the 5th of May, so the last 2 weeks roughly, not quite fully 2 weeks. You may have been noticing some big shifts. You may have been noticing a lot of things, pressure in your head, palpitations of the heart, being really tired or being really up, feeling like where's time going, and then time is stretching out. We've talked about the time warp and weave for some time, but things are really starting to progress and shift now. And so today I sat with myself, merged into my dragon, and thought, what do I want to talk about today? What is not just on my heart, on my dragon heart, and what is the group feeling? What is the message that needs to be shared that will help explain things, help people understand where they're at, what's happening, what to pay attention to? And so as I sat just before I started, I was feeling really drawn to share about the ascension process because, as you know, back in December we talked about the timelines bifurcating, and I might have mentioned it last week, where we've literally moved away from the old time loop and we are now on those divergent paths, which means if you are going into the quantum field, you're on the ascension process, which I would pretty much guarantee everyone in this group is moving towards that. You have a spiritual opening, you have something in your heart space, in your intuition, in your guidance that has been saying, all right, open up to more. There's more beyond 3D. Obviously, if you're experiencing dragons, we have a lot of new members here, and they're wanting to understand that. They're really seeing them, having them around, and wanting to go deeper with it, which is why this group is here. So what I've been experiencing and really want to share today is for you to become aware of we've talked about the ascension process being, where we're headed, that we're moving into 5D, into the new earth, into what you can term it the quantum realm, quantum consciousness. Everything about that fifth dimensional plane is new earth, quantum consciousness, quantum field, higher octave vibration, fifth dimensional vibration. You can use any term you want, but it's an expansion out of time because time only exists as we have known it in a linear fashion in a 3D state. So the dragons have been here to help you move away from that, to heal the woundings, the traumas, the pieces left in your mental and emotional bodies that are shutting you down, keeping you small, and holding you back from your power, holding you back from the might of your heart, holding you back from all of the knowledge that you possess because you're too scared to access it or intimidated by it. And so it's been this journey, all right, something's pulling me forward. How do I get there? So the dragons have been there to help move that out of the emotional body, move it out of the mental body, break down those barriers, and help you access more and more of your light, which is frequency, which is that higher octave. So as we move from a third dimensional, if you want to understand dimensions, you can think of them as octaves, which is what? It's a frequency vibration. We associate it with music. So octaves are similar notes, but at a higher frequency band. So that's really the difference between 3D, 5D, 6D. What is 4D? Where did that get lost in the mix? That's the sound vibration bridge that shifts us to that, because the third density is so much slower in vibration, so much denser because it holds matter and it holds linear aspect, that we really need a big shift to move us out of that. And so we have this whole 4D sound bridge, which is sound, light, wavelength, any of those tools, and why sound healing and light healing has come in so predominantly to help us get there. So moving away from that linear stretch of time, time is now operating differently. Your body is now operating differently. The ascension process has begun. And for me, I had my very first very tangible experience I've merged with my dragon before. I've had my full self in and have been working on the process of holding it for longer and longer amounts of time, but knowing that time doesn't actually exist in the way we really want to comprehend it. So moving into that and allowing more and more of myself to be immersed in that on a more regular basis, that it finally came to a merge with my dragon, which is through the dragon heart, and aligning into that syncopated breath, syncopated heartbeat with my dragon. And then being shown that actually that heartbeat, that alignment, that pulse, that rhythm is always your highest self, your dragon self, your light body is always already in alignment with the pulse of the universe. There is a pulse underlying this universe. There is a signature within every conscient or sentient being, every consciousness, every energetic. So if we allow ourselves to tune in with our dragon, and maybe you're disconnected to the dragons and you aren't a dragon, but the dragons are here to help you get to your higher self, be that maybe you're a unicorn, maybe you're a fairy, maybe you're a star being. It doesn't really matter. You can have dragon guides if you're very closely connected with them. Maybe you're a dragon rider and your dragon is here side by side with you. Either way, it's a process of merging into that heart space and allowing them to show you the rhythm of the in and out breath, and allowing yourself to expand into that high heart space. The high heart is out about 2 inches in front of the sternum. So between the old human heart chakra and the throat chakra, which we've worked with for years and years in a linear fashion, those are also now spherical, and they allow this expansion into the high heart, which is where you're going to meet up with your self, your dragon self, your higher light body, your whatever form it takes. Most of you here are dragon. And when you sit with that, this is the beauty of it, that right now we are in the framework to move as high as we can, that it's all available, the doorways are open. And so I tangibly experienced on the morning of the 6th, it was right after this big movement forward on the 5th of May. It was a 555, didn't really put that together until after. But sitting and breathing and having my guidance, my higher self, show me, align with me to the in-breath and the out-breath of the universe. And in so doing, we start to feel that rhythm, that pulse that is different than the one we're sitting in. You feel your body expand, you feel every cell expand through your body, you feel your heart expand. And I literally felt my dragon, who I've felt many, many times energetically on a merge basis, actually breathing through my lungs with me. It was tangible through my lungs, and it was that split second that I've always known was going to be there, that would be that merge point in the highest realms of 3D and start pulling me forward. So from that point forward, there's been something radically different for me in my perspective, that all along our perspectives shift, but there's been a big turning point. And so I'm holding that space for all of those that are part of my tribe, that are part of my dragon clan, to then be able to feel that octave and move into it, because literally our ascension process has begun. That there will start to be shifts and changes in the physical body that is moving it into light framework, that is shifting our dynamic foundational layers, being through the physical, mental, emotional, energy bodies, to being in the 4 higher bodies, that moving through our starting those into foundational merge as a new base layer, moving us into 5th, 6th, and 7th dimensional, the 7th dimensional being your light body, the 5th and 6th being background bodies that I was made aware of about 2 years ago. So we have a whole new framework coming into place, and so you're going to feel odd in your body, especially if you try and really cling to the physical body. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like, and even your guides, guardians, the angels around you, the dragons around you, none of them actually know exactly what it's going to look like to merge through the physical form, trying to maintain that physical as we move into our light body. That's one of the beautiful pieces of this experiment of Earth, of the design of it, of the design to drop into density, to drop to the lowest framework of it, the furthest away from love, the furthest, dark ages period, and then bounce back and see if we could come in and recover ourselves, and then lead humanity forward, for those that are first and foremost human, to lead Gaia into her ascension, so that all of humanity that's working with her has that potential to do so. And the beautiful example was Christ 2,000 years ago coming in. My whole body's tingling on this, so this is on track with what we really needed to talk about today. Christ being that example that lived in a body. He was a real being. He lived on earth. He came in and he went through a physical death, but then he resurrected. And why did he do that? That was a living example that the body continues, that we have a light body, that we have an eternal essence that goes on, that there's more beyond death. It was basically a living example that there's something beyond this third dimensional realm and there's something beyond death. So the difference in our process now is he made the first inroads into that energy field, into being able to activate and have his light body be physically seen by those in a third dimensional reality. And any time that the template gets pushed forward, that seeds into the collective. That makes it energetically viable and possible for everyone in the collective to benefit and repeat it, to replicate it. So now we're moving through, and who's replicated it since then, and even before then in a different way, are the bodhisattvas, the rainbow body practitioners from all of the ancient Tibetan and Buddhist pathways. That the bodhisattvas have been in that same thing where they moved into their light body, but they left the physical body behind. So that's deeply embedded within the energetic of the collective that we have access to. And now what we are doing is making inroads. We are making a new pathway to actually move into that light body while maintaining the physical shell of our physical self. We don't know what that's going to look like. I would challenge any medium, intuitive guide out there that says they know exactly what it's going to look like, because even I don't get from my guides and dragons, this is uncharted territory. We are in new waters. We are in a new exploration of this is what the intention is, and knowing we're holding that intention to move into a full merge with our light body and see how it will shift the physical body. I've talked before about shifting from carbon or graphite to silica. So that molecule, the molecular structure, and I only know this because of working with the Pleiadian dragons. So there is one Pleiadian dragon who looks a lot like the obsidian dragon here. He's carbon and diamond. So carbon or graphite, carbon has those two different isotopes, and it is the same molecular structure, but it shifts slightly. And I'm not scientific, so I don't know how or what the subtle difference is, except that one represents as carbon or graphite, and then it can shift very easily into diamond. So those two are from the same base structure. This is what's happening, and I feel like that information came in first to help me understand and move me into the awareness of, wow, I've been talking about our body moving into its crystalline, that the crystal dragon is here to activate and wake up our dormant DNA, to move it into a crystalline format. That what is the highest form of crystal? The highest, purest form of quartz crystal is Herkimer diamond. Herkimer diamond is a flawless, occlusionless, perfect crystal. So that is the diamond. That is the pure diamond form. Do you know what form a raw diamond takes in its natural state? It's a perfect octahedron. It's the perfect Merkaba, the double four-sided pyramids, base to base. That's its raw form. I didn't even really know that until a couple months ago when something inside me said, search this. Search this online and find, and first image to come up, raw diamond is the perfect double tetrahedron, or the octahedron Merkaba. So what that's doing is the dragons are helping us move into crystalline within. So it's been in the energetic to start with. We've had it in the DNA, knowing it's going to activate your crystalline DNA. That's all I understood about it for a long time, knowing that that's what I was activating in my clients and my dragon hearts and throughout the courses and programs that I do, and that in that structure, I was then finally shown in the last couple of events how that actually starts to shift and magnetize into a subtly different structure that becomes diamond. So the crystal moves to diamond. When that's happening in your body, in your framework, it's actually going to happen through every cell. So I see it happening through the central core, through the spinal column first, which is where we predominantly envision our DNA, but you have it in every cell. And you will see I've been talking about it for a while, and then I started seeing some stuff from other people and realizing, wow, they're talking about the same thing, but they're using slightly different terms, that every cell is actually moving to silica-based from carbon-based. Silica is crystal. Silica is that diamond structure. So it is actually biologically happening. It starts on the energetic. We've been working with that. It trickles down then when we are ready to move it into the physical cellular structure. So now we are at the point where I've been saying all along, I really feel like my dragon, my full light body, has been the lowest it could come was down to the 8th dimensional gateway into these lower frequencies. When that shifted, I think it was 2 years ago when the bridge was built with my previous dragon hearts, might have been even the year before that, that all of a sudden that was open so that the structure changed and the light body could drop down, be fully 7th dimensional, present with me, and then start to move through and incorporate. But I always knew the light body, our dragon self, cannot come all the way down into physical density and hold, which is why we don't see most of our guides that are dragons coming down and actually manifesting in a physical form in front of us. Some of you know you see dragons in the woods or in your backyard or in lakes or in mountains, but you don't get to see them like manifest where they're living, breathing, physical, blowing fire in your backyard. Say, I know I have a dragon in my backyard, but he's not going to come all the way into 3D. He's going to let me perceive him. That's bringing me up to their level. But I've always known that my dragon showed me, my higher self showed me, I am only going to drop down to the very, very highest part of 3D where I am tangible instantaneously, momentarily, as a flash in, merge point, and then start lifting you up. That's the process. You're going to feel that. I got to feel it on the 6th of May, coming in through my lungs, and realize, all right, everything's going to start shifting now. So why am I bringing that in and talking about it? I want you to have awareness that some of the body shifts you're going through is because your body is trying to shift from carbon-based to silica-based. That's crystalline structure. The dragons are here to help you with that. I would definitely bring in, I've got the diamond and the obsidian sitting with me today. These guys felt right on the wall to be in this space with me. But starting in the octaves below the diamond, is that crystalline. Calling on and pulling in the crystalline dragon. I'm being reminded right now, they're saying, go into the site, dragonwithin.com, to the guided meditations. I think it was about a year ago, almost exactly, that I did a very profound, off-the-cuff, all of my guided meditations are off-the-cuff. They come straight from the heart. But there was a very profound one with the crystal dragon that if you haven't done yet, it's very worth the $11, or if you want to get the whole set of the black and white and crystal, to go in and get that one right now, because that template energetically is very relevant right now to help move the body framework up. I would also encourage you to find a 432 hertz scale to listen to. I know that David Sereda, Sereda.com, has created one that's multiple octaves. There's 33 minutes male and female, and then 8 minutes male and female, or 7 minutes. So there's 4, like for $11, that you can download and start toning and working with, which will help bring your frequency into alignment with the natural octave harmonics of the higher light planes. Okay, so those in tandem, like listening to the crystal dragon, or working with the crystal dragon in any way that you feel is right for you, but there is that guided meditation there that's profound, or the crystal dragon track that comes with the book that many of you have. Loop it in the background, listen to it, get into a very peaceful state, visioning and holding that, and then play a 432 hertz octave to really activate your light body and start bringing that in. It's time now. I want to encourage everyone to really amp up your own work, but also to understand why you feel so odd, why things are really like throwing you for a loop, or that you feel spacey, or you feel exhausted, or you just are like feel like your mind is expanding out this way and you can't keep up with it, or your body is, because that is literally what's happening. It's time now. The ascension process is beginning. I keep being shown the tidal wave of energy of all the light brigades joining forces and moving across the planet has actually started. I felt that begin on the 5th of May, which is, how does a tidal wave start? typically underwater with an earthquake somewhere, right? Or a rumbling volcano, that there's some big shaking, quaking that then sets in motion a very subtle, gentle movement that starts building and building and building and building and building and building and building, and it becomes a tidal wave. That is what kicked off. We've been waiting for this energetic tsunami. Who knows how long this wave is going to take? It doesn't feel like it's going to take more than a couple of months. Maybe not even that long, but this wave is in motion now, and this is going to be what's going to shift dramatically the templates around us and move all of us into that quantum realm where we might feel like we're still side by side with what's going on in 3D, but you're going to be very stepped away from it. You're going to start noticing that you are literally living, existing in a different plane where you may start to become not visible or not as perceivable to those around you. I already notice when I go into certain stores or parks or places that it's as if I'm walking around and nobody knows I'm there. It's very interesting to perceive that. But this is about your physical body shifting, about you being aware of it, honoring it, paying attention to it, and really honing in the work that you need to be doing right now to just go with that wave. If you need to be paddling like heck on your surfboard to catch up with the wave, maybe you need to. Maybe you need to be focused in your intentions very clearly for the next several weeks to bring in as much light as you can. And as I said, this started with a line into the breath. Feel yourself and ask. Maybe you don't even know how. Maybe you don't know how to meditate yet. There is an online basics of meditation course that I created last year for those that struggle with that. That's why I do guided meditations. It's easier for some people. But to be able to take whatever skills you have and knowing that your intention is the most powerful thing you have, to hold your intention of, I want to begin the ascension process. I choose the quantum new earth field. I choose the fifth dimensional new earth. My body's tingling on that. That's a very clear one to state consciously, verbally, that you are choosing the new earth. You are choosing quantum consciousness. You are choosing to ascend and evolve forward away from the 3D timelines that will go on without us for those that want to maintain that. But by setting your intention and saying, all right, I don't know how to do this, but I want to feel the in-breath and the out-breath of the universe. I want to sync up with that. I want to feel my body align to and pulse with. And what you'll feel is the in-breath and out-breath of the universe is so subtle that when you sit and get quiet, and it's like sitting in a void of creation, like in the Mesozoic soup, I used to call it, in Galactic Center, where you're just in a space where it's so subtle, and as you start to align it, you almost feel like you have more space in your body than matter. And then you'll start to feel like, oh, I can feel my lungs very gently aligning to that, but it's not like a big dragon breath, interestingly. It's a very soft, subtle, where almost every cell will start to breathe on its own. That's the sensation I got. It was literally as if every cell in my body was breathing itself. That's the spaciousness within it. And that's where you're going to feel that. And the more you practice that, the more you intend that, the more you're going to start to see shifts in your body and your perception, and things around you start to change, because you're going to start magnetizing to you that which will help you along that path. Those beings that align to that with you, those beings that are supportive of that, and those that don't, that are going to stay in a dense frequency, they will not match your magnetized frequency. They will not magnetize to you anymore, and things will start to fall or shift away, and it'll just be a perfect alignment, and you'll feel it, and you'll just want to slide along with it and see those shifts taking place. So just brief to bring it in. It could be a huge topic. I could probably do a whole class on it, and maybe I'll be inspired to sometime this summer to do a mini class where we just keep updating of where are we at right now? Where's the wave at? Where are you at with your practice? What questions do you have? That's interesting. I'm feeling a real hit to do that. So maybe I'll create or schedule some kind of a 2-hour Q&A where people can come on and we can discuss this kind of stuff in an extended framework where your questions directly can be answered about that. I feel like that might be an interesting piece if there's not going to be any book clubs till fall, or the next Dragonheart program doesn't start till next January. if we still need that, if there's still, that's still in flow. So knowing that I want to bring you guys what you need during this process, I'm here as a guide to do that. So if you have questions, please reach out. Send me an email. It's araya@invokehealing.com or araya@dragonwithin.com. I do discovery calls. There's not a lot on the schedule. I'm backing my schedule off for the summer just as things are flowing, and I'm needing more time to work on one, my kids, but two, some pieces that I never have time to get to. The maps, this piece of ascension, and even the second book, if I'm meant to bring that out so that people still have these tools to move forward. So if you don't see anything on the calendar, the book now button on either homepage of my site is where you get to the booking calendar for free 20-minute discovery calls, or for any of the session work that I do. If you don't see something, it only goes 3 weeks out. Just keep checking back, because in another week or in 4 or 5 days, more will open up that is the following week. And you'll see something or you won't. It'll be aligned and meant to be. But if you're really frustrated and not seeing something, just send me an email and I'll see if I can squeeze you in somewhere. All right. So I feel like I've covered everything for today. The focus is your intention. The focus is your light body and your ascension process, and allowing yourself to move with that wave forward. Be aware that we're on it, aware that it's started, and doing what you need to be doing. Find your focus. Don't let the chaos of the world distract and pull you away. There are so many things that are going to be destructive, what they call false flags, chaos going on around the globe. Just take care of you. Make sure that you've got what you need around. If you need to hunker down and just take care of you and your internal process for a couple weeks, just really focus right now. It's a very important time to be focused and aligning to the energies, because they're available and it's starting. All right. Much love to you guys. I will see you next Tuesday. Have a fabulous week. And please, please send your questions or your comments. If you think you want to see a 2-hour Q&A type class put together, put it in the comments so that I can start to see, like, wow, a lot of people are into that. I'll try and schedule it. All right. Have a great one, you guys. Much love to you. I love my dragon family. See you next time.